Shout out to everybody out there that wrote something underneath the video where I talked about that I needed a break. And because I also talked about, the impact of the death of my father. And in speaking through that, I think that it hit a lot of people because you've either gone through that or you know someone in your life that has gone through that. Man, fuck cancer. First off, salutations, greetings, and all of that amazing stuff. Listen, I'm on week 5 after extending my trip. And I think I'm going to go back in about a couple of days now. And I'll be honest with you, when I had to book the flight, I was oh so sad. There was a tear that was rolling down my face at the same time that I had to book the trip. Listen, this is it. I wanted to share with you guys what it is that I'm feeling right now, and as well as a couple, maybe like one story. Maybe there's going to be a couple depending upon how I feel in the conversation that we're about to have here today. I'll start off and I'll say it like this. When I worked in corporate America, I was it like 4 or 5 years ago at this time was the last time that I worked in corporate, right? Your boy was pulling in probably about $150,000 a year in a very low cost of living city. I was in Columbus, Ohio, but within that time I was salaried. And within that time, I had, my evenings as well as my weekends to just be me, enjoy myself. And then also the type of work that I was doing was, pretty much high powered for a couple of hours per day. But then besides that, I'd have time to, talk to people, I'd have community at work, so I would say my overall life happiness when I consider all of those different types of things was very high. It was extremely high. I had security, I had protection, I had a salary, so I had consistency. I knew what was coming in, and I was living in a low cost of living city, post MBA grad, and I was doing extremely well for myself. So since then, I became a little bit bored within that lifestyle, and I wanted to be able to try to accomplish or figure out something new, gain additional purpose of being a 30-ish year old man and making it to a degree of life that I felt that I was comfortable with, but I wanted to try to figure out more. So that's what I did. I figured out more. I became a hobbyist. And within that hobby, I established of many things that I had an enjoyment for technology as well as cameras. And there was a little bit of time there that I got a couple of professional, semi-professional cameras. And I started a photography business in the city that I was living in. About a year or so after that, I turned that camera around and I decided I wanted to try to create some videos. Again, from a hobbyist perspective. Little did I know, I would be so good in being able to do that or figure out, what it was that people wanted to listen to or to hear about, that I had almost 1 million subscribers 7-ish years later. Who would have known? Now I will say I'm simplifying that to a large degree because the amount of learning, tutelage, training, investment from a time, as well as a knowledge perspective is something that I can't undercut. It's nothing that I can underpin, okay? It was difficult. It was tough, all right? So I did that for a number of years. And I would say that, my 20s to my 30s was the period of discovery, of having fun, of figuring out myself. And I would say within that time, I probably visited 15 different countries. I was living good. I was living well. All right. My 30s to my 40s, and especially when I figured out that I wanted to do this content thing. And of course, because, I wanted a degree of ownership within my life, working salary. And I was super good at it as well within corporate America. I think that there's a lot of things within my personality that speaks extremely well to how it is that I can form fit within that. And a lot of things that my father, would teach me, and as well as the schooling that I had previously. It just fit well, right? And I knew how to, for lack of a better term, shock, jive, be a chameleon to a degree, right? Positively speaking, okay? Then the content shit hit. Then COVID happened. Then my numbers went crazy. Then my learning and my love for what this is went absolutely stupid. And I was able to reinvest all of that and to figure out how to do it at this particular junction. My income, my revenue went up 20-fold, okay, at its highest rate. And even now, 10+-fold at this current junction. I say all this to say is that I've always been a man of discipline, of merit, of achievement, of progress. Progress over perfection is one of the mantras that I started this channel, and it's something that I will always live by. And I've always said that you're never going to know what exactly or who that you are in every stage of life, because as you grow within life, things will absolutely fundamentally change. Okay? Things will change. And you have to get used to that change. You have to get flexible within that change. And as well as what I've said before, you have to get comfortable within being uncomfortable. Okay? So here I am, a couple of years out of doing the content, and I'm building and forming community. I'm building a splendid team that, does the things that I need to do. Everything is going well. And then life happens. And within that life, experiencing things that took me away from the happiness or the joy of it, but I had sort of these golden handcuffs. I have acknowledged these handcuffs, because once you get yourself in a place of achievement, it's a place of achievement. It's a weird achievement as well, right? Because you can have some people that are complaining about the things that you were talking about, but then, a new young man turns 18 every day, baby. So to them, it's old. To him, it's new. Okay? So the algorithm rewards that. So you constantly work on a singular topic and our focus in order to make it work. And there's some weird ass bugs out here. I will say that. Yo, I'm looking at a bug that's crawling around my damn camera. Oh, it's flying now. That is crazy. I've never seen that type of, I know it wasn't on screen, but it's crazy looking. Anyway, you look like a Pokemon, you heard? Anyway. So I experienced the death of friends. I experienced the death of loved ones. Shout out to everybody out there that wrote something underneath the video where I talked about that I needed a break. And because I also talked about, the impact of the death of my father. And in speaking through that, I think that it hit a lot of people, because you've either gone through that or someone in your life that has gone through that. Man, fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. I can't wait till we come to a component of our society where we can rid ourselves of diseases or ailments that we can't define where they come from or control when they come. Nevertheless, I've been impacted, but I kept going because I'm on this hamster wheel. I'm on this climbing of Mount Everest, is what I talked about within my videos before. And I'm constantly gaining and achieving and excelling and improving and investing again to improve some more. And you just keep going. Even when you're burnt out, even when you feel as though that it is enough, you keep going. And a lot of that is capitalism dependent. A lot of that is achievement dependent upon your particular behavior or your lifestyle. But it's dependent on something. Then if you take all of that and extrapolate that out to a place that doesn't really depend on that as much, you learn a lot of things about yourself. You learn a lot of things about your expectations in life. You learn a lot of things about who you are as a person. And I'll tell you guys something. Being down here for the past 5 weeks, I am so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. And it might sound crazy to you, How are you proud of yourself from taking a vacation? I'm just proud of myself. I'm proud of myself because, taking off for this amount of time, I never would have thought that this would have been possible for me. All I saw was just the grind into the end, baby. That's all I saw. That's all that I felt valuable. You know what I mean? But life is worth living. And when I say that, it's also to say that I didn't realize that I wasn't living. Now, I'm a young man that is, I'm 40, all right? So a lot of people look at me like I'm old like shit, right? Like, but I'm 40 years old. But when I put a foot on, they like, yo, what, you 27, you heard? Yeah, but 40? That's what they be saying, 40? Anyway, I'm still relatively a young man. And being down here, I've fully understood that the way that I'm living life, even in being in a major metropolitan city like Atlanta right now. That's where I spend the majority of my time. I have houses all over the United States, but that's where I spend the majority of my time right now, okay? That's where my studio's at. But living in a major metropolitan city in the way that I live it and experiencing the people around and the way that I'm experiencing it, right? Keeping myself to a schedule that has me achieving and excelling and growing. You know, it's all well and good. But when you come to paradise, when you come to paradise, it changes. I am forever changed by this experience. I now am so happy that I have done this because now I figured out a new goal. I've talked about it in previous videos. If I decide to upload, I don't know if I'll upload those videos. But I talked about it in a sense of, I think that what makes the West great or makes the States great, but what also ruins the States is capitalism. And it's just a type of capitalism. It's one where the people that we look up to are the pop culture figures of who we aspire to be, okay? If you're a part of the Matrix and if you're a lemming, who you aspire to be. They're gaudy. They're extra. They're flamboyant, okay? But what I've come to really understand, and I knew this beforehand, and I would say I'm a lot farther along because I've never been a young man that's even been in debt, right? Like, I've always done really well with like my finances and everything like that, and as well as choice and decision that I'm making with my finances. But once you're in a place where none of that, literally none of that exists, you can extrapolate out all of the imagery and the branding and the things that people wear on their face or adorn on, right, from a makeup perspective, the eyelashes, the hair, right, that they'll wear on their body, the jewelry, right, on their wrist, right, their neck, the cologne, right, the shoes, right? Like when you take out all of the external, you peel back that little onion, and who are you really at the core of it? And what I figured out is that now I'm in a place where you don't have to worry about any of that. And you get down to the core of humans, of who you are as a person. And when I ask myself, who am I? When I wake up in the morning, and what are the things that I want to do? And how much effort that I want to put in to live the life that I want to live? And as much dopamine that I want to experience? Who am I? And then what are those things? And I think that as I've come down here, even when I'm talking with different people, listen, I was talking to, the spot that I'm in right now is in a place called Rawai, all right? It's about 30 minutes outside of Patong Beach. As I'm down here, I'm like making sure that I'm having some conversations with some of the locals, you hear me? And when I say locals, I don't just mean the people that live here, like their whole life. The people who decided to live here, okay? Had a couple of conversations. I'll tell you about two. The first one was from a young man who's been here. I think he said he was here for about 3 years or so. He was from the UK. All right, it looked like he was of Indian heritage or Indian descent. And I was talking to him about his experiences down here, and he was like, listen, this has completely changed my life. I'm in paradise. I'm so damn happy here. He said, you know, I work out 3 times per day. And that was crazy because I was looking at him and he was, you know, he's obviously overweight, like obese. Say he work out 3 times per day. In my mind, I'm just like, you must have just started. He has, okay? But he has himself on a workout regimen. But what I also picked up on that is that he said 3 times per day. Who else has time to work out 3 times per day besides athletes, right? Professional athletes. That's who works out 3 times per day. But that's what he said that he does. I asked him, he said, yo, in the morning time, I do Muay Thai. I have a one-on-one coach. He said in the mid-afternoon, so I go back most of the time and I do weight training. And then at night, he does like some high rocks, CrossFit type shit, all right? Him and a couple of his friends that's around in the area. And right now I met him at a spa, like a luxury spa, which is what I'm at right now, okay? He said he's been here for the last 3 years. I said, bro, do you miss home? He said, hell no. It's raining there all of the time. And people are just angry. They're just stressed out. And I said, bro, I feel you. That's all you can say to that. I said, you have any regrets? He said, no. I said, what about family? He said, we FaceTime. Technology today. All right. The next conversation that I had was with an older man. Oh, the first conversation, the Indian brother, he looked like he probably my age, but probably about 40, but like overweight 40. So he looked different than my 40, if that makes sense. Next conversation that I had, I went over here and I swam over in this area past the Fern Gully, you heard? It's like a little, it's like a jacuzzi. And then right next to that is the cold plunge. I was in the jacuzzi area. Portly man steps into the damn pool. I mean the hot tub. We start chatting, we start having a conversation. He's French, okay? But it's easy to understand him. Some French people, it's like really hard. It's like deep French. Nah, but I can understand him, And we began to have a conversation. He's been here 13 years, and he's 60 years of age, okay? I started talking to this guy. He was like, taking a trip down here was the best decision that I ever made in my life. I said, all right, well, what's your lifestyle out here? I mean, obviously you at a spa right now, so you must be living pretty good. He said, I'm married. I said, wait, what? Pretty sure I saw him over here with a little pretty young thing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is he married to her, right? Yeah, right. Says that he's married. And he said, get this. He had a kid 6 years ago. He's 60. Do the math, okay? I'm like, Jesus, you having kids at 57, my God? He said, yeah. I gave him £1, all right? And then he proceeds to tell me that the situation that he has set up with his wife is one of which she does everything. She cooks, she cleans, and when the kid is not at school, she takes care of the kid. He comes in to a clean home with food up on the stove, on the pots, waiting for him, ready for him. She don't complain, she don't fuss, she don't ask where he's been, right? Like, she might ask if you had a good time, but she don't ask none of that other bullshit. She allows him to live a peaceful, enjoyment-filled life. Peaceful, enjoyment-filled life. Peaceful, enjoyment-filled life. I had to say that 3 times because it's important that you lock in on that. It's important that I lock in on that, irrespective of his specific situation. But he lives a peaceful, enjoyment-filled life. And to answer your question, yeah, he's out here with a little ting. He says when he goes back home, she knows what's up, but she don't ask no goddamn questions. All right? Because why? He pays for everything. Now, what's interesting is that in the States, and, this is after watching my good friend Kevin's streams, and I didn't even realize this, even though I was doing the content, about women, prior to even when Kevin was doing the content. But when I watched the countless amount of women that came up on there and, essentially were admitting that they didn't want to work after having children, it's the same thing that's down here. Like, they'd rather be provided for. But the cost of being able to do that in the States versus being able to do that here is significantly cheaper. Like I said, the majority of things out here are on the bad end, 75% lower, and on the high end, 90% lower for everything. Chicken fried rice in Atlanta costs $22, $23. And, the Midtown, West Midtown, what's the other place? Buckhead area down here, $2, $3, okay? And it's consistently like that for whatever, okay? Whatever it is that you're trying to do. Right now I'm in a spa. How much is to get in a spa in a New York, in a DC, in a Chicago, in an Atlanta? Where here, it was 300 baht, which is like $9 all day. And you could do whatever that you like. There's a steam room. I'm not even gonna show you. I don't wanna, show who else is out here. I'm gonna respect everyone's privacy. But there's an ice bath, there's a hot tub, there's a sauna, there's a steam room. There's a full bar over there and restaurant over there. I mean, you got everything that you can need. Umbrellas everywhere. They're not nickeling and diming you as soon as you come up in here. Like, you gotta pay extra money for the damn cabana. You gotta pay extra money for the umbrella. You ain't gotta do none of that. Okay? And he said, he was asking me questions like, yo, so where you staying right now? Like, I told him where I'm at, and he's like, oh, there's a lot of motion down there, like, like, he said he likes Rawai. He likes the Rawai area because it's way more calmer. And I know that too. Like, if you decide to live in one of these different places, you don't want to be in one of the hoopla areas, right? The tourist areas. You want to be in a more relaxed area. But he's like, bro, you gotta go try Krabi. You gotta go try Koh Samui. You gotta go see, these other things in order to experience like what life would actually, be like. I say all this to say is that I'm so happy that I did this. The more people that I talk to, and I'm seeing all of these dudes out here that have just they've made the transition from wherever in the world that they were, because they experienced true happiness and true fulfillment within their time. And the amount of money that they have to expend is commensurate with the peace that they want to feel, or the fulfillment that they want to feel, or the lifestyle that they want to live. Whether that is a family lifestyle, whether that is a single lifestyle, right? Whether that is whatever. You can figure it out once you get about the matrix. I uploaded a video not too long. I think I uploaded a video. I don't know. Maybe I didn't upload a video. But just the idea that, it makes sense why they shame the passport bros. It makes sense why they try to pull the bad actors up to the top and then utilize that as the example of who and what a passport bro is. It's so stupid. Meanwhile, these dudes are over here keeping quiet, and experiencing a fantastic existence and a fantastic life. It's crazy when I see things such as the self-deletion rate in the States. And I get it. I was looking at a study not too long ago, and it was saying that the S deletion rate, right, the self-deletion rate goes up 9 to 10 times for men when they're 40 years old and they get divorced. And a lot of them just feel as though their life is over. And you feel like your life is over because all you can experience is life is what you know it. Life is different. Life changes. There's ebbs as well as there's flows within life. And even myself, someone who's been a world traveler, I forgot. Or maybe I just didn't know to this extent. Or maybe it was something I couldn't really appreciate when I was younger. But I damn sure appreciate it now. I don't know what this means for me within my life going forward, besides when I get back to reality, when I get back to the States, I'm just going to be taking note. I'm going to be taking note, and I want to see. There's still some in it, right? And I'm going to be seeing how it is that I feel once I get back there, and make an assessment, make a determination. Make an assessment. Because the fact of the matter is, the things that I do out there, I can do it here. I can do it here. And that's one of the benefits of building up, something that you own or an online business. Like the first guy, the Indian guy, he's got hard businesses over there in the UK that he does. I forgot what he said. I forget exactly what he said that he has in the UK, and he has like another business. Oh, he said it's a firework business or some shit like that in the UK. And he's got another business here, and he has real estate here. And then, he makes more money. Taking photos of me. Okay. Is it good though, at least? Yeah. He makes more money to live here. He makes more money to keep his expenses beneath his revenue, essentially. The other guy, the guy from France, he does crypto. And but he made sure that I understood that, like, because I was like, bro, I get down here and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything. And he's like, well, you need to make sure you still have purpose. He says, Sometimes he wakes up early because he's so excited to see what the crypto markets are doing. So he still has purpose. You still got to keep some degree and level of purpose. But I say all that to say is that, life is just interesting. I think no one else can define happiness except for you. That's it. That's why I've said previously, take stock of what are the things that actually make you happy throughout your day and drive towards that. And it's not something that maybe you can do all at once. Maybe it's something that, it's going to take you, years in order to try to get to. But now you have a new goal in life. I've said this previously, but I feel like sometimes when I'm in places like Atlanta, I feel like a level 99 wizard with the strongest staff in the game. Or, just like a level 99 Pokemon trainer with like all of the epic Pokemon just, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's not as fun anymore, baby. You know what I'm saying? So go somewhere where it's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. I was able to create this lifestyle and utilization of content. Guys, viraltovalue.com is my new work. It's my new website where I teach you how it is that I created my online content business from soup to nuts. Viraltovalue.com. I'll leave a link to it down in the description box down below. If you are interested in how it is that I did all of this and you want all of the tricks of the trade, all right, my content business generates between $50,000 and $100,000 per month. Not this month, because I really haven't been working this month. I'll be honest with you. All right, I just been reposting shit everywhere, right? But that still has trickle effects. I made more money this month not working than what I did working 9 to 5 at my 9 to 5 job at the full salary. Okay, put that into perspective. Okay, from the way that I've done this. Okay. Anyway, viraltovalue.com. That's viral2value.com. Link to it down in the description box down below. Man, these bugs are starting to kill me. I gotta go put on some more bug, some more bug spray. Anyway, let me get up out of here. I wanted to share these couple of thoughts with you guys. Life is worth living. My G's out there, listen, I get it. Life is worth living. You just have to figure out how to take life by the horns and accomplish. All right? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And until next time, peace.
So without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound when it's MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.